You're repeating the same relationship patterns over and over and over again. You're choosing the same men over and over and over again. And I am here to stop you. I'm here to help you and to just make you a little bit more aware as to what this pattern looks like. If you're in it, maybe you can be a little bit more aware of it and what you can do differently. I'm going to give you a framework, something that you can remember or even make a note of, and you can keep coming back to it so you are a bit more prepared. Hi guys, this is Nazneen. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. I share videos just like this every week, so if you want more, subscribe so you do not miss out on any more valuable information. Also, if you are tired of choosing people in situations that are costing you your self-respect, I do offer one-on-one private clarity sessions for men and women who are ready to stop making excuses for people who do not deserve them and finally choose differently. So if that sounds like you, apply for a private clarity session. The link is down below. Now let's get back into the video. You might be dating right now, or you might have just become exclusive with somebody. So I just want you to keep this in mind, because this is coming from somebody who has been married before. I've been through some very difficult, manipulative relationships, and it has taken me to the dark side. But also, I do want to mention that those relationships, those narcissistic personalities, those people that really hurt me deep down inside, they are the reason why I'm here today. They are the reason that I'm so empowered today as a woman. They are the reason why I now can stand up for what is right. I can speak my truth. And so I know we can, as women sometimes, men do this as well, but a lot of us like to sit and blame the dark people, right? We like to sit and blame narcissists. And I'm not going to lie, I have been in that group. I have been in that mindset where I was constantly thinking how horrible these people are and why are they so evil and X, Y, Z. But then I realized that I'm not getting anywhere. I'm still stuck. I am still, disempowered. I'm still lost. I'm still in a low frequency, because all I'm doing in that moment in time is just hating. I'm just judging. I'm just angry. And it's just making me bitter and resentful, which is that experience is not there to make you bitter and resentful. It is there to evoke something out of you, depending on, what kind of person you are and what your soul is meant to learn in this lifetime. Even though it's really painful for us women and men, because I feel like men also deal with narcissistic women, and they're actually, I think, even more crazier. Narcissistic women can be very, very vicious. If you're a man watching this can definitely apply to you as well. But I wanted to kind of hone in on a woman in this video, but you can definitely keep on watching. While you are dealing with someone who is abusive and manipulative and controlling, it is hard to hear that they're trying to teach you a lesson. In that moment, it's not the best thing you want to listen to, right? Because you're just trying to survive and you're trying to figure things out. And so, yeah, I understand. But when you come out of that experience, I have learned the most about myself through them. And so I just want us to use these experiences not to remain stuck in this victim mentality where we are just out there blaming and how dare they and they're so XYZ, because it's not going to get us anywhere. So I just want us to wake up a little bit. And also, I do want to mention that many times, because I don't want to say everybody does the same thing, but from just what I've experienced, grown adults, what they tend to do is they tend to replicate the same dynamic that they've had with their parent, right? With their mother or father. Maybe in their childhood, they were always trying to prove themselves. They were always trying to fix. They were always feeling not heard or respected. They always felt like they were not enough to receive love. When you then turn into an adult, what you tend to do when you grow up is you tend to attract mates that have a similar dynamic of your parent. And I know this sounds a little bit weird and a little bit ew, but it's true. This is what we tend to do as human beings. And the reason why we do this is because we are trying to replicate that experience that you had as a child into your grown adult relationship in hopes that you're going to be able to fix them finally, because that is what you wanted to do as a child. And I'm talking about, let's just say, me and my mom. I constantly tried to get her to love me, and it just wouldn't happen, right? Not because she didn't love me, it's just that she didn't know how to show the love, and I wanted to receive love in a very specific way, which is I wanted to feel safe with her. But with my mom, she did not know how to give that love to me. And so what I ended up doing, because I never received it, I went ahead to look for men where it was the same dynamic just as my mom. So I kept on trying to prove to them how worthy I am, how deserving I am of your love and your respect, in hopes that one day they are going to heal that wound. They're going to show me that the love that I didn't get as a child with my mom, they are finally going to prove me wrong and say, oh my God, you are so worthy of love. So a lot of us are not choosing wrong on purpose because we really want to get hurt and we want to waste our money and time and all of that. No, it's not because we're doing it on purpose, but it is because we're choosing somebody who makes us feel the same emotions that we felt when we were a child with our mother or with our father. And we do not realize this until you go through something like a divorce and you study why we do this. You study psychology and these type of personalities, and that is when you wake the fuck up. You're not trying to hurt yourself, you're trying to fix something that was unresolved in your childhood. And in your mind, you're thinking, well, this time it's going to be different. This time, this person is going to truly love me for me. Even though their actions are showing otherwise, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to choose them because it might happen. Going back to what you didn't get as a child. So once we understand this, dating and just your awareness grows to such a level that you can finally see, I mean, not always, sometimes it can take you a while, but you can be a bit more, or you can have a bit more discernment when you're dating, and this can really save you a lot of time and money. So I really want to dive into this framework now. I want you to follow this framework if you're somebody who tends to keep on attracting the same relationships, same dynamics over and over and over again, but with a different face. So all you need to remember is trust, and I'm going to give you 2 bonus ones after this. So T stands for too much, too soon, which is also known as love bombing, which I'm sure we know. And the best way to know this is that if it is too intense in the very beginning, it most probably is not love, because love, I'm sorry, we can argue about this all day long, but love really does take time. It takes effort. It takes viewing that person's actions. Are they consistent with what they have said? And in order to notice this, you need time. You can't suddenly, after 2 weeks, be like, oh, I'm in love with this person because all our values align and they feel like home to me. It feels like I'm complete when I'm with them. Even though it's 2 weeks, I still feel like this. That is what I want you to stop and think for a second. And the reason is because I did this in one of my very, very dark, toxic, unhealthy relationships. This is the first thing that I said, was that when I'm with them, it feels like I am home. It feels like home. And I said this. And the reason is, I already explained why that is because the dynamic was so similar to what I had in my childhood. So even though it felt like home to me doesn't always mean that it is safe. It doesn't always mean that it is right for you. If you're dating a divorced man or woman, and after a month or 2 months, they want to, and again, I'm sure somebody will disagree with me on this, and that's okay, but I will always, because I've learned from my experiences, to always introduce your kid. And I think it's also lawyers talk about this, and it's a known fact, to wait for 6 months until you introduce your child to the person that you're dating. If you're dating somebody and they suddenly after a month or two are like, here's my kid, meet my kid. And of course, some people do not have bad intentions with that, but some people can. And you might miss getting to know the person because you're too enamored with their child, and they're just showing you the good parts. So look at me and my child, and it could even be family. They suddenly want to introduce you to your family. What I'm trying to say here is that it doesn't always have to look like, oh, let's have sex soon, or they love bomb you soon. There's different ways that they can go about it. So I just want you to keep that in mind when you're thinking, oh, but he hasn't love bombed me, so he's great. But he also, I just met his entire family within 2 weeks. And also, he is asking me to travel with him. And, it might look like it's okay, but it's just my personal opinion. I think that you should wait. Getting to know somebody, I know I just gave you a time frame of 6 months. And the reason why I said 6 months is because majority of us are working and we have other priorities. And so for the most part, most people will see that person twice a week or once a week, or even if not once a month, depending on their schedule. What it really comes down to is the quality of time that you're spending. Are you really, speaking to them one-on-one? You're looking at them, or is it a text that you're sending every evening, or are you FaceTiming? Are you just talking about your hobbies and the future, or are you also talking about your past? Are the conversations more superficial, or are you also diving into deeper subjects to really share with that person, be vulnerable with that person? So you have to factor all of these things into this. Let's get into R, which is for respect. And this is how you test their empathy. If you're dating a man or a woman and they don't have empathy, they lack empathy, they lack compassion for you, if they're unable to understand your feelings, then they can't love you. And in order for them to understand how you feel, they need to also listen to you. They need to give you time. They need to make an effort with you in order to understand. And if they do not respect you, they're not going to give you time. They're not going to make an effort because they do not give a shit. And again, it's also not just about how he respects you, but how does he respect his mother? How does he respect the people around him, just human beings in general? And this is a big one. How does he respect homeless people? Because I had this one guy once who had this deep hate for homeless people. And he had hate for a lot of different types of people because he couldn't understand them, right? So that is something where, you might think, well, he just hates them and so it's okay. But a lot of the times that hate and that lack of understanding is going to fall back on you. And I know you might not think it does, but eventually I believe it does, because that's just what I've experienced and what I've seen through my coaching. And in these relationships, by the way, the women, I'm not saying all of them, I know, but majority of the times, if a woman is with a manipulative man, a narcissistic, whatever we want to call it, she, for the most part, is going to respect him, but he is never going to respect her. And respect is something that is earned. You don't just get respect out of the blue. Both of you guys have to earn each other's respect. And you might think that you're respecting the man, but maybe you're just afraid of confronting him. And to him, that looks like respect. And He might even say, well, in an argument, maybe you're confronting him about something, and he might say, you don't even respect me. You don't respect me as a man. And in your mind, you're like, yeah, but you have to earn my respect. And that is totally valid. But please do not marry somebody, do not get into a relationship with a man who doesn't respect you and who hasn't earned your respect. U is for unavailable when challenged. Means when he's challenged with a certain question, he is going to withdraw. He is not going to be able to match you because he's unable to communicate, or he just maybe is caught in a lie, so many different variables. Instead of working as a team, he is going to make you look wrong, and he is going to make you chase him, and he's going to go silent, he's going to pull back, he's going to withdraw. Now, I do want to mention there is a difference between a man who is avoidant versus somebody who is manipulative and controlling and narcissistic. A man who is avoidant, they are not going to hurt you. They're not going to make you the problem. When you ask them a question, they're not going to say, no, you, how dare you ask me that question, and twist it and turn it and make it your issue, not theirs. That is somebody who you do not want to be with. Now, a man who is truly avoidant and he doesn't know how to maybe communicate his feelings, or let's say you're somebody who has an anxious attachment, your feelings is going to overwhelm him, and so instead of fixing it, he needs a timeout. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't want to work with you. Maybe after he gets himself together, he's able to have a conversation with you and talk about things without running away, without being manipulative, without trying to get you to chase him and playing all these games and not being honest about how he feels. S is for seeks control. Constantly, they need to have the reins on what you wear, on what you do, on what you see. He's basically managing you. And I remember in one of my relationships, like at the very beginning, again, I missed all the sides, did not have an amazing person like me sharing this amazing information. That's why I need you to listen up. I remember I was meeting some of his friends, and I wore this cheetah top that I really thought it was really cute. And we had a 2-hour argument over me not wearing this top. I just do not agree with that. I think, if he wants to be with you, this is how you dress. And if he doesn't like that, then he can go somewhere else. He has free will to go somewhere else. And so, just my personal opinion, I do not think that a man should ever tell you what to wear. Again, if you're meeting his friends with a G-string and 2 nipple straps or something, yes, that's obviously something to get worried about. But if you're just wearing an outfit and that is what you like to wear, then he doesn't have any say in what you wear. What I want you to also keep in mind is that this kind of control doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a couple of weeks. These are things that you start noticing slowly but surely. And also, it's kind of like grooming. Obviously, the things that happen at the end of grooming doesn't happen here. But what I'm trying to say is that it is a slow process, because they will test you a little bit and they'll see how you react, and then depending on that, they'll either push a little bit more or they will revert. So it's something that happens after a couple of months, maybe even years, and you slowly start to notice these things. When you date, or maybe you're in a relationship right now, if it doesn't feel like a friendship, now think about your best friend. Okay, I'm just imagining one of my friends in my head. She would never, ever tell me what the hell to wear. She would never tell me. Obviously, she can advise me or guide me, but she would never sit there and say, you need to do this or XYZ. Use that same example when you're trying to find a partner. Find somebody who allows you to be exactly who you are without an apology. They let you be exactly who you are. T is for talks but doesn't follow through. Their words don't match their actions. They are not consistent. And this is why I always recommend when you're dating somebody, do not just be with them in the good times, because everybody is going to be treating you well when they're happy, when they are successful, when they're rich. In that limited amount of time, that 1 or 2 hours that you go on a date with, or you go for go have a coffee, you don't see how they behave when they're upset, when they're angry, when they're frustrated. How do they behave then? How do they treat you then? You learn who the man is when you try to fix a problem with him, because you tend to see, are they somebody who tends to use my weaknesses against me, or are they truly trying to work as a team and come to a solution, or are we going round and round and round and not finally fixing the problem? Now I'm going to share with you guys the 2 bonuses. So one of them is blame shifting. This one is huge. And this is where everything becomes your fault. You're the issue. You're the problem. And you tend to see this when you ask them a question. When you ask them, hey, I'm not feeling the best right now, or something is coming up for me and I just want to share this with you, and you're just talking about how you feel. And suddenly they can go in for, well, that's in your childhood, so that's something that you need to figure out yourself. And like, it has nothing to do with me. I'm just giving you a little example. It could be so little where you're like, oh wait, yeah, maybe it could be my childhood. But then, they totally are avoiding and not taking any sort of accountability for how they're making you feel. So that is not okay and not acceptable. And again, this starts off slow. But when you have children involved, you do not want to be with a grown-ass man who is unable to take accountability, who is unable to follow through on his word, because then he might as well just become one of your children. And if you're somebody who is a people pleaser and you do not value yourself, you then are going to make yourself the problem as well, because that is how you've lived anyways. You are somebody who tends to blame yourself for everything anyways. So to them, you're the easiest target because you think like that anyways. So you're not even going to think twice about it, because you're going to be like, oh yeah, they're right. That makes sense. You're going to justify them not taking accountability because your entire life is your fault anyways. It's going to feel familiar because that's how you felt as a child. Your parents probably never took accountability and they made you feel bad about it and they blamed you. So you're like, well, yeah, that was true then and it is still true now. And it is so further from the truth. It is not your fault. In order to be in a relationship, it's a two-way street. You have to own up to your mistakes and your issues or whatever's coming up for you. And so does he. He has to take accountability for how he made you feel, or this is not a relationship. And lastly is they break your boundaries. You say no and he pushes anyway. And a lot of the times men, I've realized this, what they do is that first it's going to start off with a small boundary of yours that they push and you're like, oh, it's okay, whatever. And then they get into it's like they keep on climbing until they get to a really big issue, like maybe sleeping with you. And you are thinking, no, we need to wait at least, 3 months or until we're exclusive. But then in their head, they're thinking, well, you already disregarded 3 of your other boundaries, so why the hell are you going to follow through now? So then they see that you're weak and they push harder. And because you're vulnerable, or because you desperately want to be in a relationship, or you need a man, or whatever you need, that man is going to take advantage of you. And it sucks to think about sometimes that this happens on a daily basis. And if you can remember anything from this video, I want you to remember this. A man that is manipulative, narcissistic, controlling, evil, whatever you want to call it, this is the antidote. And the antidote is to ask them questions. Continuously ask them questions. Without apology. Do not even, oh, I'm so sorry, but can I ask what? No, freaking ask the question. Manipulative men hate questions. Good men respect them. Do you know why? Because manipulative men they usually are lying to you about something. They don't know how to be fully honest or truthful. And so they don't want to think about, oh, how do I answer this? And it's a lot. And if somebody is truly, that has a personality, narcissistic personality, then a lot of their identity is made up. They don't know who they really are. So now they have to, it's over time. They've come back from work. Now they have to think about who they are to answer you, to communicate. And so my biggest advice, I don't care what age you are, 15 to 100, I don't care for shit. Always when you're dating somebody, and if you're in a relationship right now, it doesn't matter. Start now. Do not wait for another 10 years to waste your life to be like, oh my God, I've been with a horrible person, narcissistic person, controlling person for 10 years. And I just wish that I did more to be more aware. If you ignore these, you're not in love. You are in a pattern. This is a loop that you are continuously going to be on until you open those big ass eyes. And not just open your eyes, because a lot of people know that they're in shitty relationships. They know it, but you have to take action. You have to make a different decision for yourself. And that is why I feel like a lot of women, when they get married and they have kids, they tend to wake up because they're like, whoa, like, you're going to do that to my kid? Oh my God. And because you love your kid so much, the love for your child is unfathomable. That's when you wake up. And so I don't want it to be too late for you. And then in the end, unfortunately, your child is the one that gets troubled, and they're the one that loses time, or they don't have a two-parent household because of these little decisions that you're making. And again, I'm not here to blame you or to make you the bad guy, but I just want us women to awaken a little bit more and ask more questions and stop sleeping. I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this video is of any help to you guys. If it is, send me a comment down below. Let me know what part is really eye-opening to you. I love you guys, and I will see you guys on the next one.